Okay, so this is teaching for women. So I want to start out by saying you need to go read 1 Timothy chapter 2, because women are not to usurp their authority over men. They're not to teach men. You're not to rebuke men, especially when you're in error in the scripture. You can ask men questions, okay? And the day begins at dawn. It's a more sure way of prophecy. We are children of the lights. And if you read, let's go back and read, as you said, Genesis. Let's read together. The first thing Jehovah created was the lights, and that was his son. He's the light of the world, and we were created in their image. We are children of the light. We're not children of the darkness of the nights. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. We are children of the day, of the lights. And if you see his days, it does have a pattern, but you're very in error because you've gone after the traditions of Judah, who learned this Babylonian evening Friday to evening Saturday Sabbath when they were in captivity by the Chaldeans. And they give you Leviticus 23, which is once a year, the feast, and once a year. And if you read, it's the 7th month on the 9th and the 10th day is where you get the split Friday evening to Saturday evening Sabbath, right? That's not even the correct day. The once a week Sabbath on the 7th day is not Leviticus 23. That is a huge error. So Genesis, he called the light day. Jehovah worked during the day, just like we do. He worked during the day, and then evening came. And if you look up evening in the Strong's Concordance, it is a short period of time as the sun is setting into the night. Then morning came, dawning of a day. His days are 24 hours, just like our days are 24 hours. Jehovah is not a God of confusion. The new day starts at dawn. So if he worked during the day, evening came, the morning came for one day. Day 2, he worked during the day, the light, when the light was shining. Then evening came, and then morning came for the second day. And it repeats itself over and over and over again until the 6th day. He worked during the day, created all the animals, humans. He was satisfied with his work. And then evening came, that transition of time when the sun sets into the night. And then morning came for the completion of day 6, for the 6th day. Chapter break. And if the pattern would repeat itself, instead of working during the day, the lights, he would have rested during the day, then evening would come, that transition of time into night, and then morning would come for the 7th day, completion of the 7th day, 24 hours. Dawn Saturday to dawn Sunday, Exodus 16. He instructed them to gather twice the amount of manna until the sun waxed hot, in preparation for the Sabbath. And he says tomorrow, M-O-R-R-O-W. And if you were to look up morning in the Strongs, it would tell you that morning is morrow, M-O-R-R-O-W. He says tomorrow is the Sabbath to the Lord. Tomorrow is the Sabbath to the Lord thy God. He didn't say this evening is the Sabbath. He said tomorrow. Matthew 28. After the Marys kept the Sabbath by the commandment, that's in Luke somewhere, I can't remember. Matthew 28. When they came to the tomb, it was dark, right? It was yet dark at the end of Sabbath, as it was about to dawn towards the first day of the week. Came the Marys to the tomb. Because the end of Sabbath ended at dawn on the first day of the week. Because it's, again, dawn Saturday to dawn Sunday. Let the day dawn in your heart. Again, it's a more sure way of prophecy. Even the birds know that the day begins at dawn. They sing in the morning. Jehovah works during the day lights. He did not work during the nights. His day started when he worked during the day. We are images, right? He made man in their image. He says, let's make man in our image. The first thing he created was the light, and the light he called day. 1 Thessalonians 5, stop being a child of the night, of the darkness that is drunk in the nights. Drunkenness means pride. Humble yourself and go look at the scriptures. Stop correcting men when you're in error. There's a bunch of prophecy of the children of the night, the drunkards in the night. They fill their bellies because they feast. They profane Jehovah's feasts. I don't know if you do the feast. I hope you don't. But if you do the feast, you need to go read Lamentations, I think it's chapter 2, verse 4 or 6. He violently took the feast away. We do not have the calendar. That's why there's 7 different calendars and everybody's doing them on different days, because Jehovah took it away. It's your punishments. You're in captivity. Deuteronomy 12, Deuteronomy 16. We're only to keep the feasts where he wrote his name. He wrote his name in Jerusalem. We're not in that land. Daniel 10. Daniel fasted during the Passover because he was outside the land. We're supposed to, we don't have the tabernacles. We don't have anything that we are supposed to have to do the feasts. And there's a reason for that. Isaiah 1, he does not accept your new moons, your Sabbaths, your solemn assemblies, or your feasts, your sacrifices to him. They're trouble to him. Because this is the time of lamentation, mourning, and woe. Okay? We are to be watching. And if you're not watching, he's going to come onto you like a thief in the night. Ezekiel 2, 3 and 33. That means to write your check for half, pick up your staff of authority, and go find his lost sheep that are waking up. You woke up. I don't know, maybe you were born into the Torah movements. You look kind of young. But a lot of people wake up from the Christian church and then they go too far to the right and they start profaning Jehovah's feasts, doing it in a polluted land, not on the correct time, doing right in their own eyes. Deuteronomy 12, we are not to do right what's right here this day. We're not supposed to be doing what's right in our own eyes. That was the sin of Solomon. We are to be warning the Christians to come out of the church, stop being lawless, right? Keep the 10 commandments. We don't have to keep the whole sacrificial law, but just the 10 commandments. Write your check for half. Do not be an unjust steward, right? For Yeshua ended the handwriting of ordinances, the sacrificial law, nailed those to the stake, but he magnified 2 commandments in the old law, Isaiah 42:21. Love God, Deuteronomy 6, keep the 10 commandments in your heart. Love neighbor, rebuke the sin out of your neighbor. That's what you're supposed to be doing, watching. Not feasting. For the dumb dogs that cannot bark are the ones feasting, lying down to slumber, drunken in the night, full of pride. And they're not watching, they're not fulfilling the royal law, they're not loving their neighbor according to Scripture, according to Leviticus and James 2. Stop doing a polluted Sabbath. You're breaking the fourth commandment by going after the winds of Judah and keeping their tradition because it's not the correct Sabbath. If you're feasting and doing the feast in a polluted land, stop. Tobit did the feast outside the land, and Jehovah sent a bird to crap in his eyes. He was blinded. That was his punishment. Malachi chapter 2, verse 3, the feasts are dung all over your face. They blind you as well. Just like the Christians are blinded by their idolatry, their pagan holidays, Jeremiah 10, Jeremiah 7, you are blinded by your feasts. They're a trouble to him. He does not accept them. Isaiah 1. To learn to do well is to learn to do righteous judgments. And you need to learn to do well and stop feasting, but fulfill the royal law. Love your neighbor and eat the scroll of Revelations. It is sweet in the mouth, bitter in the belly. And many are called, but few choose. Few choose to do the work, to do well, because most want to just fill their bellies and slumber. Be children of the night and not of the day, not walking as Yeshua walks, rebuking, loving the church. To love your neighbor and to love the church is to rebuke the sin out of them. So I hope you hear this. I hope you go search and read the scriptures again. Because once you see, if you can see that the day starts at dawn, you see it all over the scriptures. All over the scriptures. So I'm going to give this to you as well, okay? And I want you to go read this, okay? So I already gave you Matthew 28. You know, the Marys came at the end of Sabbath before it dawned towards the first day of the week, right? At the end of Sabbath. Now, if you go read John 20, Yeshua appeared to Mary on the first day of the week. After it had already dawned on the first day of the week, he had appeared to them, right? John 20, go read that chapter. Read John 20, verse 19 as well, because it says, after he had appeared to them, the same day in the evening on the first day of the week. Okay, so if a day started in the evening, that scripture would be completely wrong. Because if a day started in the evening, according to you, it should read on the second day at evening. If a day starts in the evening. But it doesn't, because the day starts at dawn. The Marys came to the tomb as it was the end of the Sabbath, dawning towards the first day of the week. He was already gone. He appeared to them on the first day of the week during the day. John 20, verse 19, on the same day at evening, on the first day of the week. It's still the same day because his days are 24 hours, dawn to dawn. So go and read that. Go study it out. Don't go after the customs and traditions of Judah. They are in great error. That's why the scripture says, do not go to the right and do not go to the left. The Christians go too far to the left. They are lawless. They throw out the law completely. They nailed it to the stake along with the sacrificial law. The Torah movements, the evening to evening children of the nights that are feasting, they go too far to the right. They go after the winds of Judah. They are the unjust stewards that are telling people to pay in full, do the full instruction of they don't even follow the full instruction of the sacrificial law, but they go to the letter of the law. They keep the sacrificial law that Yeshua nailed to the stake. They haven't write their check for half. They haven't learned the parable of the unjust steward. They beat people over the head with the sacrificial law, telling them that they're not righteous if they don't wear tzitzits. They're not righteous if they don't do the feasts in a polluted land, doing right in their own eyes on 7 different calendars on the day that they choose fits to do them, while they don't keep the full instruction of Torah, while they don't love their neighbor and learn to do good. And that's why I'm sending this to you. And I hope you have ears to hear and eyes to see. So stop going too far to the right. Okay? We only have to keep the 10 Commandments. That is loving God, Deuteronomy 6, and we have to love our neighbor. Leviticus 19, to do righteous judgment. Rebuke your neighbor. Watch so he doesn't come onto you like a thief in the night. To go find his lost sheep. What he told Peter, if you love me, feed my sheep. Do you love me? Feed my sheep.